Vanessa.
How do you recommend creating an atmosphere to open dialogue on issues of race and inequality in education policies?
That's a very good question. What do I recommend to create to open a dialogue on race in education policy? Okay. Well, first of all, there has to be respect for diversity. Now, I know that sort of sounds like corporate speak, but I think diversity exists on so many different levels. It is so much deeper than racial or ethnic, and really comes down to the individual experience and the individual culture of a community. And so there has to be that initial respect for experiences that are not like yours, for cultures that you may not understand. I think so many people are puzzled by some of what is perceived as negative aspects of African American culture, but there's very little understanding or effort to understand where those cultures where those aspects of the culture have their genesis. And I think there has to be an openness to understanding, why people think and behave the way that they do and what the influences have been. And until that openness and respect is there, the dialogue is sort of stunted. It never comes into full bloom to the point where effective action can be taken. So I think that's so fundamental, just respect and a willingness to listen and good listening skills. My husband is a masterful listener. Even when I'm kind of nagging and, he listens really well. I think we underestimate the value of listening in our society, just simple listening skills. And schools don't teach things like this, and they ought to. How do you listen to someone? Listen well. So it's the best I can do.
Charlise, thank you for being here. Sarah Merck from Hawkins School. Recently, a group of my colleagues and I got together, a group of teachers and administrators from the lower school through the upper school got together to discuss your book. And our conversation very quickly turned into a conversation about what we can do throughout our entire school to support students who are first-generation independent school students. And while we feel like we've come a long way as a school since you were there, we'd like to hear from you what advice you have to a school like Hawken to improve that and support students who have not experienced independent school education.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. As I said when I answered the first question, Hawken I was very uncomfortable for too long. I was uncomfortable through 10th grade and 11th grade, and only at 12th grade did I really sort of begin to get the hang of it and enjoy all that was there to enjoy. And when I graduated, I felt some regret that I didn't feel comfortable earlier, so that I could have really relaxed and enjoyed the wonderful atmosphere of learning there, teaching and learning there. So I think things need to be done to create a comfort level faster. And what that is, I'm not sure. It may be meeting students before coming there in some sort of structured but extended way, not just sort of a one-time orientation, but maybe over the summer there are 3 or 4 meetings. Maybe you meet at someone's home. So you get a sense of people are just people, you know what I mean? Because coming from where I came from, I put people on pedestals. Oh, Ma, they're all rich, they all have cars. They're nothing like me. But maybe if I saw people in their homes and just had a chance to become more comfortable with them, all of that social, all of the social stuff would have been pushed aside by the time I got there in the fall. And I would have been able to concentrate a little bit more and not be so worried about how I look or what I wear. But I think whatever you can put in place to increase familiarity and lower discomfort is really important. And then also, just in talking with so many of my friends who were scholarship students at Hawken, we reflect now and we realize we had no idea. We knew it was a private school, we knew it was an independent school. We had no idea the value of the education we had gotten when we left there. We had no idea. And even those of us who went on to Smith College or Ivy League, we still didn't, we had nobody to tell us, this is your golden egg. We just didn't get it. And many people, 10 years after college, then it began to sink in. We had a privileged education, and we didn't even realize it until we were 30 or 35. So I think, and not that you want to tell kids, oh, you're getting a privileged education, but my point is to be able to really take advantage of everything that's there. There were so many things I kind of steered away from because they were unfamiliar, that I wanted to try, and I didn't. The higher level classes, all of those things, I really feel that the scholarship students need to be primed to take advantage of that. It can put you, when I entered freshman year, people wanted to pay me to write their English papers because I got so good at writing papers at Hawken. And when I entered Hawken, I didn't even know what a paper was. But getting that quality of education, I don't think even then I realized what I had. So whatever you can do to help people really understand what they're getting, I think, and to take full advantage of it, not hold back and be shy. So I hope that's helpful.
What made you start to enjoy reading?
Shoot, it was a way of, reading transports you to wherever you want to go, or whatever you want to understand. Sometimes it was pure escape. I wanted to get away from my neighborhood. There were always kids wanting to fight and stuff. There was this bully named Sandra Proctor who, her occupation was to kick my butt. And I was trying to get away from her, in that kind of play. And so I would just stay in the house and read, or I'd go to the library and read. So I, in some ways, I was trying to run away, and I always found a great escape in a book. That's the best answer I can give you.
Hello again.
Hi.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Anywho, I noticed that, because I'm a poet, and I noticed that in your book you have a lot of, you use a lot of really good imagery. Like, one of the ones that stuck out was like a giant walking on the midget's box springs, that one. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of good imagery and metaphors. Where would you say, like, either that started, or do you write poetry, and where do you get that sort of inspiration that gets you to write, those sort of images into your book?